Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page, Radyo Pilipinas World Service, and you can catch this episode later in the evening through our YouTube channel. And right now we're being heard via audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. So join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
A timeline here regarding the case of Attorney Harry Roque, the former presidential spokesperson for the Duterte administration. A court, which is Pasig City Regional Trial Court, Branch 157, issued an order canceling the passport of Roque and several co-accused in the human trafficking case. So that includes Cassandra Leong. And on November 25, the Department of Foreign Affairs confirmed the cancellation in compliance with that order under the new Philippine Passport Act, or RA 11983. And having said that, according to the Justice Department, Attorney Roque is now barred from lawful travel, traveling without a valid passport that may lead to legal consequences. And to recall, dear fellow countrymen, the Department of Justice publicly announced that it would seek the cancellation of Roque's passport after an issued arrest warrant against him connected to alleged human trafficking tied to a Pogo hub. So what's the legal basis on this, and what happens next here? So we are lucky to be joined by the spokesperson of the Department of Foreign Affairs, none other than Assistant Secretary Angelica Escalona. Good morning, Assistant Secretary Escalona. Thank you so much for joining us in the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good morning, Jerome, at magandang umaga po sa ating mga kababayan.
Ayan. All right. So, my first question po, Assistant Secretary Escalona, what's the legal and procedural basis po dito sa pagkakansela ng passport po ng dating presidential spokesperson Harry Roque?
Oh, okay. So, ang basis nito is the new Passport Act. Nakasulat naman po doon ang grounds for the cancellation of passport. So, ang sinasabi doon sa batas is that the DFA needs a court order specifically instructing the DFA to cancel the passport. At natanggap naman po namin yan nung nakuha namin yung omnibus resolution mula sa Regional Trial Court ng Pasig City.
Okay. So, was Attorney Roque given the opportunity to respond or explain before the cancellation was implemented po, Assistant Secretary?
It does not work that way po, ano? Ang sa amin po, pag binibigyan kami ng court order, specifically instructing us to cancel a passport, yun po yung ginagawa namin.
Okay, so there's no any chance po na mabigyan ng opportunity po itong si Attorney Roque na mag-explain. Is that right, Assistant Secretary?
Ang nakasulat pa sa batas, nothing stops him from making an appeal. But kailangan yan, for that to happen, kailangan mabigyan ang DFA ng proof na cleared na siya. In the meantime, we have to implement yung court order nga, yung omnibus resolution na galing sa korte. So, kanselado po yung passport at hindi niya magagamit ito.
Okay, but having said that, so Attorney Roque can appeal para malift nga itong cancellation ng passport po?
Yes po, may proseso naman po doon. But in the meantime, kanselado po yung passport.
It's a canceled one. Okay, so ito nga po Assistant Secretary Escalona, ito kasi sa isang interview nga po sinabi po ni Attorney Harry Roque, yung former palace spokesperson, kasi he no longer have the physical possession ng kanyang pasaporte, kasi isinorender po niya ito sa mga otoridad doon sa Netherlands kung saan po siya naroon at kung saan ay nag-apply siya for asylum ng ngayong taon, particularly in March this year. So at sabi po niya, sabi po ni Attorney Roque, under po siya ng tinatawag nga itong Dublin procedure for asylum seekers. At dahil dyan, he may be transferred within Europe even without a passport nga. Na-mention nga natin itong cancellation ng passport. But in this sense, Assistant Secretary Escalona, how does passport cancellation interacts with asylum claims in Europe? Like sa situation po ni former spokesperson, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque.
Ganito po yung sa cancellation. Once nag-cancel kami ng passport, ini-inform namin ng Bureau of Immigration sa Pilipinas and also yung Philippine Center on Transnational Crime. Sila po yung Interpol office sa Philippines and they inform Interpol International. At with that, nagkakaroon ng alert yun sa system ng all international border controls. Kaya po kung magbiyahe siya sa airport, mafa-flag po yon.
Okay. So, dumadaan muna po ito sa mga otoridad natin, like you mentioned the Immigration Bureau and the yung agency na involved dun sa transnational crimes, and at the same time we will have a request the Interpol nga para mapa-cancel nga ito. Mapa-cancel itong pagta-travel.
Oo nga po. Pag na-cancela na namin, nagawa na namin ng party namin, then naka-flag na yan, and it's a matter for the law enforcement authorities ng Pilipinas at mga counterparts nila.
I see. Okay. Pero ito po, Assistant Secretary Escalona, so does the cancellation of a high-profile individual's passport have any implications for Philippines international engagements nga po, or itong mga travel-related protocols?
Wala naman po. This is specific to persons concerned.
Okay. So particularly sa ito nga may kinakarap nga na kaso po itong si Attorney Harry Roque.
Opo, specific po yung orders dun sa mga nabanggit dun sa Omnibus Resolution.
I see. Okay. Pero ito po, panghuling tanong para po dito sa topic na ito. So may tatanong po akong updates po regarding nga dun sa dyan sa Hong Kong. Pero ito, how does the DFA ensure that the passport cancellation procedures are not subject to abuse and that the rights of Filipino citizens are fully protected po, ASEC Escalona?
Opo. So, to make sure of that, lahat naman ay ginagawa namin naaayon sa batas. So, when we cancel Philippine passport, we wait for the court order. In that case. Basta yung grounds for cancellation, andun po lahat yun sa batas, sa New Passport Act.
Okay.
So, in this case, we waited
pa
for the court order.
And ito nga naka-base po sa mga patakaran sa ilalim ng Passport Act, at may statement po kasi si Attorney Harry Roque na parang bagang politically motivated. So but nevertheless it's the cancellation of passport follows of what's indicated in the new Philippine Passport Act.
Opo.
Okay.
We do things in accordance with the law.
Yeah, that's right.
With the New Passport Act.
Okay, got it. Okay, so moving on to updates here, kasi po kagabi may information nga po na may naganap na massive fire incident dyan sa Hong Kong, particularly dyan sa Tai Po district dito sa Wang Fu Court. Kung saan nga maraming buildings po yung nasunog dito. According sa media reports, tumaas na nga yung bilang, nasa 44 na yung mga namatay and more than 270 are missing. So may information po ba tayo, Escalona, kung ilan po yung mga Filipinos natin dyan na unaccounted for, missing, injured, or displaced po sa nangyaring insidente ng sunog dyan sa Taipo District?
Okay, so ayon sa ating Philippine Consulate General sa Hong Kong, as of this time, wala pa po silang kumpirmadong report na may Pilipinong nasaktan o nasawi dito nga sa sunog na ito. However, the consulate received unverified information na posibleng may mga Pilipino pang natrap sa mga building. Kaya naman agad na pinasa ng konsulado ang impormasyong ito sa mga otoridad. So far, according to news reports, yung latest 44 na po ang namatay at more than 200 are missing, but they have not yet released yung information tungkol sa mga identity.
Okay. And sabi nga posible pa nga tumaas yan sa mga susunod na oras. At ito nga po ay ano yung mga consular assistance po or urgent consular assistance na pinapaabot ng DFA sa mga Filipinos na particularly na nandyan po sa Taipo District na apektado nga ng sunog, sa evacuation, sa shelters, sa medical aid. Paano po matutulungan ng DFA itong mga Pilipino na nandyan?
Ayon po kay Consul General Romulo Israel Jr., iikot po sila sa mga temporary shelters na itinayo ng Hong Kong government upang malaman kung may mga kababayan tayong nangangailangan ng tulong. At patuloy po tayo nakikipag-ugnayan, yung konsulado natin sa Hong Kong Police. Handa po naman ang ating mga opisyal na tumulong sa mga kababayan na naapektuhan dito sa napakalaking sunog na ito.
Okay. And at the same time, how is DFA coordinating po dito sa mga otoridad dyan sa Hong Kong and sa other foreign missions to facilitate itong possible repatriation nga kung may mag-request nga kung mag-request ang ating kababayan dyan na apektado ng sunog na makabalik sa bansa?
Opo, tutok ang ating konsulado. We are closely monitoring this in coordination with the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong for any appropriate action na kinakailangan in cases na ganito.
I see. Okay.
Kasi hindi pa po ongoing pa rin ang efforts nung mga authorities sa Hong Kong na to contain the fire and rescue people. So ongoing pa rin po.
Okay. You mentioned nga na hindi pa ganap na naapula yung sunog pero we're still checking some report. As you said, chine-check pa rin po ng ating embahada dyan yung situation ng ating mga kababayan unconfirmed pa yung mga or unverified pa kung may mga Pilipino pang nadamay dyan sa sunog. At ito na lang po, Panghuli na lamang po, Assistant Secretary Escalona, what measures is the DFA is taking to verify the safety of our overseas Filipinos residing sa mga ganitong high risk or under renovation housing sa Hong Kong? Mag-i-issue po ba tayo ng some kind of travel or residency advisories na currently living sa mga katulad na lugar na yan?
Ang payo lang naman po natin sa ating mga kababayan sa abroad, make sure na mag-iingat kung pipili ng mga tahanan, yung mga safe na lugar. And be aware of your surroundings all the time, of what is happening, whether yung mga weather reports, mga calamities, or kung anong warning. And meron naman pong 24-hour hotline ang lahat ng ating mga embahada at konsulado for our Filipinos who are in distress. Okay, well said. And we will be monitoring itong situation dyan sa Hong Kong as we go along throughout the day. And with that, thank you so much for joining us in the program, the spokesperson of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Assistant Secretary Angelica Escalona. Okay, maraming salamat po. Thank you. And Front and Center will be right back after these short messages. You're listening to Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Mabilis ang trivia, dagdag talino. Heto na ang Dagling Kaalaman.
Alam mo ba, kumakain daw ng sarili ang ating utak araw-araw? Ang prosesong ito ay tinatawag na phagocytosis, kung saan ang mga cells sa utak ay nililinis ang mga sirang bahagi o sobrang koneksyon para manatiling maayos ang takbo ng ating isip. Kapag natutulog tayo, mas aktibo pa ito na parang garbage collector ng utak na naglilinis ng mga basurang selula at lumang koneksyon. At sa proseso ng paglaki, lalo na sa adolescents, tinatanggal ng utak ang mga hindi na ginagamit na koneksyon para mas maging matalino, mas mahusay at mas handa tayo sa adult life. Kaya oo, kumakain ng sarili ang utak mo, pero ginagawa niya ito para mas maging mahusay ka.
Kaunting kaalaman na malaking dagdag talino. Abangan muli ang susunod na Dagling Kaalaman.
Mas pinadali na ang government transactions sa tulong ng eGov.ph Super App. Pwedeng-pwede mo nang magawa ang lahat ng ito. I-download ang eGov app sa iyong smartphone o tablet mula sa App Store o Google Play Store. Pagkatapos, ilagay ang iyong mobile number at i-authenticate gamit ang one-time PIN o OTP para marehistro ang iyong account. Saka ilagay ang iyong mga pangunahing impormasyon at kumpletuhin ang facial recognition technology para sa verifikasyon ng iyong pagkakakilanlan. Para sa mas mabilis at mas maayos na serbisyong panggobyerno, gamitin na ang eGov.ph Super App.
Itinuloy na po natin ang zero balance billing. Libre po. Ibig sabihin, ang serbisyo sa basic accommodation sa ating mga DOH na ospital, wala nang babayaran ang pasyente.
Ang dami pong challenge, hindi po namin alam kung saan namin kukunin, ganon, nag-iisip kung paano namin mababayaran. Siyempre po, masayang-masaya, super saya po dahil na zero billing po kami. Opo, malaking po talaga, malaking tulong po. Mabilis lang din po.
Bayad na ang bill ninyo. Uulitin ko, wala nang kailangan bayaran ng pasyente basta sa DOH Hospital dahil bayad na po ang bill ninyo.
Naiyak ako kasi sobrang saya. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Hindi kami nagkamali ng taong ihinalal.
And welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And earlier we had a conversation with the spokesperson of the Foreign Affairs Department through Assistant Secretary Angelica Escalona. And as he said that there is no confirmed report that Filipino residents has been affected or involved or being involved as casualty in the massive fire in the Taipo district in Hong Kong. That's in the Northern Territory in Hong Kong. That's an autonomous region of People's Republic of China. And as per local media reports says here, at least 44 people are confirmed dead, while 279 are missing and dozens are injured after 7 residential towers in Taipo district on Wednesday afternoon were burned. And 45 people remain in a serious condition. And as of today, Thursday morning, the fire at Wang Fu Court is under control, but the smoke continues to come out of those burned buildings as 900 people seek refuge in nearby shelters. And that's what the Foreign Affairs Department is closely monitoring, as they though they still they don't have the information yet regarding this incident, but they are actively and closely monitoring this situation. And in fact, Assistant Secretary Escalona said that the Consulate General in Hong Kong is closely monitoring this situation, and in fact, the Consulate General has conducted an inspection there at the evacuation centers, and at the same time they are looking after the Filipinos affected by this fire incident in Hong Kong, and they will be checking with overseas Filipino workers and overseas Filipinos residing there in Hong Kong. And just for a public advisory here, since that fire is not yet fire out, but rather a fire under control, the Consulate General, or rather the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong, together with the Migrant Workers Office in Hong Kong and the Overseas Welfare or Overseas Workers Welfare Administration calls on our overseas Filipinos workers and Filipinos residing there to coordinate the situation of the Filipino community in Taipo district in Hong Kong. And Filipinos in Hong Kong is encouraged to call the following lines. So I'll provide the phone number here of the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong. That's plus 852 9155-4023. Again, the contact number of the Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong, that's plus 852-915-4023. And the lines for the Migrant Workers Office in Hong Kong, that's plus 852-5529-1880. Again, the Migrant Workers Office line in Hong Kong, that's plus 852-5529-1880, or you can send an email at mwo_hongkong@dmw.gov.ph. That's again mwo_hongkong@dmw.gov.ph. And you may also call the AWA office in Hong Kong at plus 852-6345-9324 and plus 852-9180-4920. So that's the number to call if you want to report of the situation in Taipo district in Hong Kong regarding that massive fire in high residential buildings there. And before we go, let's read some developments here coming from the Department of Public Works and Highways, as Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. announced that the Department of Public Works and Highways and the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, will present evidence to the Ombudsman recommending the filing of plunder, graft, bribery, and conflict of interest cases against 8 lawmakers allegedly involved in irregular flood control projects. In his most recent public report on the government's ongoing flood control probe, President Marcos Jr. said that the investigation had revealed lawmakers who reportedly own construction companies with contracts in districts that they control. The president, however, chose not to disclose those names of lawmakers involved in that mess. And the president has been providing frequent updates on the nationwide flood control audit that's in response to complaints about overpriced contracts, anomalous procurements, and ghost projects. And that study focuses on billions of dollars in public works projects that have been implemented over several years in multiple regions. President Marcos Jr. further said that the Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC, has issued 2 freeze orders totaling around 12 billion Philippine pesos in assets thought to be tied to anomalous contracts. And that includes aircraft valued at approximately 4 billion pesos, more than 3,500 bank accounts, and an over of 198 insurance policies and 247 automobiles, plus more than 170 real estate assets and 16 e-wallet accounts. The president emphasized that the goal of the recovering public revenues lost due to corruption. So the president has spoken that the DPWH and the ICI will now present the evidence to the ombudsman regarding the filing of the cases against those people involved in the irregularity on the flood control project. So that's one of the many developments regarding this flood control case or mess, and the president is on top of this situation regarding the holding these people and officials accountable for what they done in the irregularity on the flood control project mess. And we will be watching that development as well. And with that report from the Department of Public Works and Highways, we now conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our technical team headed by Mr. Milo Junella, and on our Warcast we have Justine Osias, and on our audio streaming we have Leo Magpayod. This is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.